Okay, so now we're up to item 14. The Ferrymead Trust. This is from the Citywide Discretionary Response Fund application. So we've got, who we got? Can't see. Gary.
Josh and Gary.
Yep, Josh and Gary. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, if we have to, we'll need to move into PX if the meeting wants to discuss attachment A, but I don't imagine we will. We're not putting words in anyone's mouth. So far away, gents.
Yeah, we'll take the report as read, but just by way of update, as on the finances of the DRF, because the funds are spent throughout the year. If we assume that the recommendations in agenda item 15 go through, there'll be 85,000 in the budget. If you were to grant a grant to Ferrymead today, that would leave you with about 40. We currently have 20,000 that we're processing currently, so that's applications that have been made. We've got about another 60,000 worth of applications that are imminent to be coming in. So the fund we expect will be fully expended probably by the end of May. Thanks.
Victoria, then Mark.
Thank you very much. Your team's been working closely with the Ferrymead Trust for some time. How long is it that they've known that there was going to be the shortfall?
I think it's a difficult question. They had applied to the Strengthening Communities Fund for 300, and I think they were disappointed when they received less than that. However, they did have the year since they received that to budget across the year. We received this application earlier in the year and are bringing it to you because essentially they've reached the end of their financial line. They did think that they would have a little more breathing room, and they came to us a couple of weeks back, essentially saying that because it was a particularly wet Easter period, that some of their event income was a bit hampered, and so it's brought things a bit closer in again.
I just had one more to go with it.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything from the trust that gives you confidence around their cutting the cloth to fit? I mean, they've got their own budget envelope. What else have they done to try and avoid this application? Have you seen any evidence of that, please?
I think it would be fair to say that some of the investment over the previous years was aimed at trying to bring them to a place of financial sustainability within kind of what had been historic levels of funding. So we've seen really positive things from the trust in terms of the activities that they've undertaken, and a lot of the recommendations from BDO have been implemented. But the financial sustainability, realistically, it looks a ways off for them. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll just sneak in before Mark and Tyler. And John might be able to answer this. Last year they shut for 3 months to save a few bob.
Correct.
And they use that for tidying up things because the people coming through the gate was probably quite negligible. Are they thinking of doing that again?
They're not planning on it.
One of the reasons they're making this application and other applications is to keep going.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Mark, please.
Thank you. My question is similar, along those similar lines. Do we know the plans of the trust? If this is declined today, are they likely to close for a few months, or?
The trust have told us that if they didn't receive the funding today, that they'd need to look at closure. I would assume, presumably, that they would look at an application to the Strengthening Communities Fund, but they'd still be waiting on the annual plan process as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Done. Tyler?
Kia ora, guys.
Kia ora.
I've got a couple of quick questions. The first one is other funding. Are they now able to apply for rata funding now that they've had that restructure?
My understanding is that they can apply, and I believe that they are making approaches. I don't know how that's gone.
Okay. So in your experience, would you say that rata is a viable option now that they've had that restructure?
We probably can't speak for Rata, but
I think there's some work that needs to be done, and I'm not sure how far that's got with Rata around their change of direction.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm trying to read between the lines here. So the next question is around either we give them all of the 48 or nothing. Is that because no matter what we give them, if it's not 48, then they can't really operate as what they're doing?
yeah. And I went and re-clarified with the trust that I said, would any kind of interim work? And essentially, that they said if they'd known about the Easter rainfall, they probably would have applied for more. So for them, it really is a make or break situation with this.
Okay, Mel?
Thank you.
So this is just to tie them over for May, June.
Correct. Yeah,
Like
it's
the
to see them through until the outcome of the
Annual plan.
annual
decision.
plan.
Yeah.
Pauline?
Just to clarify that though, it's not really May, June. Didn't they come to you in February? Is it for a longer period?
No,
Or
they
is-
came after the councillors went and visited, which was, I think, start of March.
So in other words, but just clarifying what Councillor Coker asked, is this money just for 2 months, or did they need it earlier?
I think they might have applied for it earlier, but it's to get them through to the annual plan.
The annual plan.
Yeah.
And Josh, did you say they said it will make or break them, this money?
They wouldn't have used those words, but they indicated to us that they'd be looking at closure if they didn't receive it. Yeah.
Permanent closure?
I can't speak to that.
The winter?
I'd imagine the closure would be until they hear the annual plan decision, and then they'd have to make future decisions after that.
Right. Any more questions? Tim?
Yeah, the DRF is specifically, we'll call it it's for an emergency or unforeseen circumstance. That is exactly what it is for. They've obviously known they're going to have or it seems to me that because of the toing and froing, they've known about this so it's not a surprise per se. Is that a fair statement?
They had the confirmed income from the Strengthening Communities Fund. You're right in that the criteria of the Discretionary Response Fund is for unforeseen or unexpected. So they have had months of foreseeing this financial situation. I think that'd be fair to say.
Cool. Thank you.
Andre?
Thank you. Are you able to touch a bit on why they are choosing to open through winter this year?
No,
Yeah.
to a 7
The group may have to speak on that, but I'd assume it would be to do with continuity of
Yeah.
services and things like that. But
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Mel? Hang on a minute. Yep, just let me get my head around that. Just getting. So does everyone know where we are? Option 2. Yep. I'm more than happy to second option 2.
So we'll just take a few minutes while we get that up.
Do you want a couple of mo? Right, we haven't had morning tea. That's fair enough. We'll have 10 minutes. How's that? About 11:05.